Dr. Martin Luther King's now famous letter from Birmingham jail was written in April of 1963, and the letter from Birmingham jail became the blueprint for the civil rights movement. The letter was written on scraps of paper given to him by black jail trustees in Alabama. He was jailed in '63 for participating in a nonviolent protest. And interestingly, the letter was a response to 8 clergymen in Alabama who had written a public letter suggesting that Martin Luther King and people like him were outsiders who had come to Alabama to sort of serve as rebel rousers. And Martin Luther King, as eloquent as he was, decided that he would articulate his ideas. The document itself, in terms of it serving as a blueprint, pretty much establishes 4 main points. Martin Luther King believed that it was important to collect data about the various injustices that were going on in the United States, and clearly he was able to cite many injustices. And in some respects, he did his research going all the way back to the Red Record and the list of injustices that were cited in many documents, lynch mobs. I don't think we need to go into the list of injustices. I think that those were pretty well historically documented. But he wanted to collect this because his premise was that there were unjust laws and that he wanted to do something to change America, and the way to affect this change was to collect this information, and then secondly to start a negotiation with the city fathers. And so in the negotiations he stirred things in such a way so that he created a crisis of tension. I think that's the way he described it, a crisis of tension. But the crisis of tension was to stimulate discussion, to create a dialogue. And I think that's the key word. Martin Luther King wanted us to have a dialogue about the issues that were affecting blacks in particular, but Americans in general. The third point, after collecting the data and negotiating, was self-purification. And what Martin Luther King and his associates did were to hold a series of workshops to prepare those who would be participating in the march to be able to withstand violence without retaliating. And so he outlined this importance of self-purification in the letter from Birmingham jail. The fourth point that he stressed in letter from Birmingham jail was direct action. It was really important for him and for those connected with the movement to galvanize people, to build community, and then to take action. It was not enough to simply say things are not as they should be. It was really important that action be taken, positive action, non-violent, positive action for change. I guess on a final note, I'd like to say that when I think about Reverend Martin Luther King, I also think about Rosa Parks and even her predecessors like Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman, and just tons of black people who were fighting for change for themselves as agents and not as objects.